Parry Sound's own Sully Burrows joins me on the show today. A real pleasure to have him here. Since signing with Partners record label in 2024, he's released a steady run of momentum building music, including Youth, Think of Me, and his debut single, Rally Around, which climbed all the way to the top 20 on the Billboard Canada Country chart. What an accomplishment. In 2025, he was named the CMA Ontario Breakthrough Artist of the Year. He capped off last year with the release of his debut EP, Somewhere in a Small Town. He has a brand new release out right now, a great new single called Put It On Me. He'll be performing at Cavendish Beach Music Festival presented by Bell this summer. So much to talk about with my guest, Sully Burrows. Welcome to the show, Sully.
Hey Dave, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to chat with you.
It is so great to have you here. There is so much, as I said, to talk about. We touched on some of it. You were also a top of the country finalist, the SiriusXM last year too. Uh,
Yeah.
Maybe let's start with the single "Rally Around" because this is the one that took you to the top 20 on the charts and introduced you to a whole bunch more fans. Tell us a bit about the song and what happened with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you and I were introduced in Oc well, no, it would have been in May of 2024? Like at that was my first CMAOs.
Yeah,
Or
around
maybe it was
then.
20 or maybe it was 2023, somewhere around there. It
Yeah, I'd say
was
2023 at one of my writers' rounds was our first introduction. Although
yes, yeah.
probably at the CMAOs, yeah, I think you're right. We met at the CMAOs, and then the writers' round came after that. But
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's definitely, been a lot has happened since you and I first met, and,
yeah,
that writers round was great, like, that was the first time I got to play some of the songs that I had written, and what a great opportunity for me and just to kinda get in front of people, but, yeah, so "Rally Around," that song was, um, a bit of a whirlwind, like I said earlier, it was I didn't expect, a lot of the things to happen that happened out of that song. When we wrote that song, I was like, "Oh, yeah, this is good, but I don't know how it's gonna land because it's like it's got the sports themes and stuff." But then I shared it with, some of my team and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, this is a great song," and it's one of those songs that as long as sports are around, it seems like it's gonna stay a little relevant.
yeah,
And, when we first released that song, it it started to do well on the streaming platforms and everything, and then, got picked up for the playoffs, for the NHL playoffs by Sportsnet and the NHL, and then, with the Blue Jays and stuff like that was when I was like, "Holy crap, what's happening?" And then,
yeah,
with the radio, climbing up the charts and watching that was pretty surreal because it was, like, with some of the big names, and artists that I've looked up to for such a long time, and I remember there's a time where Brad Rempel, from High Valley sent me a screenshot, and it was Owen, me, and High Valley, like, all right beside each other, and
yeah.
that was pretty cool, but yeah, it was crazy to see, like, that progression too, like, when it came out in March of 2025, and, yeah, I'm trying
Hard
to
to keep
remember,
track. It's a
yes, it is.
whirlwind.
Yeah, but yeah, so when it came out, you know, that song came out, and obviously because it's a new song, like, not many people know the words unless it's, like, your family or close friends,
Right.
and then, as we played throughout the summer and the different festivals and different shows and everything, it was more interesting to see, like, the more and more phones went up, the more and more people singing the words, and, like, whenever we played that song, people would go nuts, and to see that, like, happen, it was surreal for me because I was like, it's top 20 on Canadian country radio. People are singing the words to a song that I've written. It was, like, such a really like, it was the coolest feeling and it kind of a dream come true, and then as we progress, like, we use that song for the SiriusXM, um, like, entry and stuff, and that was a lot of fun as well because that was such another great opportunity for me. I feel like this year has just been so many great opportunities after the next, getting the chance to like be a part of that competition and meet Jake Bodland and Nolan Hoffman, who are both crushing it. So to
Mhm.
build a relationship with them and, those are to call them friends, but also, look up to what they're doing and get to see like all the success that they're having, in Canada and in the US as well. Like just getting to watch people succeed is really cool as well. But that SiriusXM competition, being able to play in Kelowna at the CCMAs and go to Lasso in Montreal and all this stuff like CMA Fest in Nashville, like all those opportunities were great for me to kind of get my foot in the door. And it like just thinking about it makes me smile because it's
Oh,
been
yeah.
so much fun this year and it's just been absolutely insane.
It's been a heck of a year for you the last couple of years, and last year was such a milestone year. Rally Around is, it's such a great song because it has a sports theme for any sport. It can apply to any sport, hockey, football, whatever, baseball, but it's all about, as the song says, kinda rallying around. Whether they win or not, it's bringing people together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was also, like, the community around, sports, but also just, like, community, like, growing up in Parry Sound, a small town, um, it's really cool because I've gotten a lot of support from back home and people have been really excited, um, and, like and just, like, not only for me, but, we just had an Olympic gold medalist out of Parry Sound, Megan Oldham. Like, we had a street party for her and everything, and just to see, like, the support from the town and everybody show up and, like, be cheering her on, like, that just kinda shows, like, the importance of community and, it really, like, exemplifies that song like, to a T because
yeah,
of how the support and, like, getting around and just, like, being together is so important, and I think, like, for me, because I grew up in Parry Sound and then, another writer, Parker Gray, like, she grew up in Aurelia just down the road from me, and
yeah.
then, when we wrote that song, like, my producer, who also was a writer on the song, Derek Hoffman, had just been at a Bills game, and he was like he just loved Bills Mafia, and he loved, like, the energy around it, and he's like, "Man, I really wanna write a sports song today, and I have this idea," and we kinda went with it, and it was a lot of fun.
Amazing. You never know in a writing session if that's gonna be a life-changing song or how big the song, which is cool, right? You go in, you don't know, and then this is what happens. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. It's absolutely insane.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now we've also gotta talk about another great moment from last year at the CMA Ontario Awards, in Hamilton, where you were named Breakthrough Artist of the Year, which is for you appearing on the scene to winning that award was a pretty quick timeline.
Yeah, so yeah, we met like, my first CMAO was 2023, and that was so different for me. Like, I had never been around it, never been there. I was with my parents,
Right.
and, we signed up for those panels and stuff, and, like, we were sitting in the rooms there and just, like, listening to different people talk, and, some of the people who were talking in the panels, I've created a bit more of a relationship with them, which is great,
Yeah.
and so that was great to kinda just meet people, get those connections, just kinda start chatting with everybody, and then, as it progressed, like, you build your circle, you build your people, in Ontario especially, so then the next CMAO, I had a bit more people that I knew and was chatting with people and meeting new people, and then the next year was 2025, and, like, that was completely different, getting a nomination for, Breakthrough Artist of the Year, and, it was also, again, kinda surreal because I had gone and nobody knew who I was, and then somehow 2 years later,
Yeah.
people knew who I was, and it was really cool, and then, obviously, like, for Owen Riegling to be presenting the award
Yeah.
and, to get that from him, like, that was such a awesome experience because he's also an artist that was, like, believed in me right away, and, when he and I first wrote together in August of 2023, and that was my first ever co-write, and that was Youth, that was released, in October 2024, and that was, Like, so he's been a friend of mine, and, like, it just kinda shows what type of person he is as well because he has, like, been a fan and a supporter and has been able to help me out, like, with advice and give me advice, and I'll text back and forth and stuff, and it's just been, like, great to build that relationship with him, so when he presented the award and I got to walk up on that stage, like, that was absolutely, surreal, and to be recognized as the breakthrough artist of the year in
Yeah.
2025 was really cool.
Yeah, and then a shout out to the CMA Ontario for all the things it does. As you said, in
Oh,
2023, that was your introduction, and making those connections are so valuable through this great province, the organization in our province.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's really they do such a good job, and, like, to be able to bring people together and bring like, I'm still meeting new people at the CMAOs and, like, the different events, like, they really put on a great, weekend really of just, like, the different showcases and the different shows and the awards and everything,
yeah,
like, they do a really good job, so it's great to, like, build those connections.
absolutely. And imagine, as you said, it's a surreal moment when Owen Rigling, your mentor, who you look up to and a friend now, presents you with that award. I mean, just a few short years ago, being a teenager in Parry Sound, this is probably what you dreamed of, although you
Yeah.
probably didn't think it might happen this fast.
No, it's always a process, and, like, for that to escalate so quickly, it's been such a learning process for me as well, and my favorite part is I'm still learning something new every day, and that's, like,
Yeah.
that's the best feeling is that you get to do what you love, but also, learn something, and it's a lot of fun.
I love that, and you've had a great chance recently to open up for people like Andrew Hyatt, Jade Eagleson, High Valley, among others. What is it like when you get to open up for these big names who I know you've listened to on the radio for years, and now
Yeah.
you're opening up the show for them?
It's great, like yeah, like, that was my first ever, like, little tour was with Andrew Hyatt, like, that acoustic run that we did in Ontario, and that was, like it was cool because, like, I had known Andrew a little bit, like, I obviously knew his music, and
Yeah,
we had a connection, like, his family was in Parry Sound for a little bit, and him growing up in Parry Sound, like, he knows in Sudbury, sorry, he knows a lot of people in Parry Sound, and so it was cool to finally, like, be connected and spend some time together and build a relationship, like, we chat basically every day still, and
nice.
we've written a few times, so we've got a really good relationship, and being able to experience that and learn from him for my first little acoustic run and how to take care of your body and take care of your voice, was really important. And then getting to go on a tour with Jade Eagleson, like that was like to start off the year of 2026. Was a lot of fun getting to be on the bus with those guys and spend time with them and get to know them. And, I'd written with Jade. Um, a couple times, but then just, like, being able to be around him, be around his family, be around his band, and again, learn things from him, and another artist that I've looked up to in Canada of just, like, seeing what he does and, like, being able to watch him 14 nights and
Yeah,
watch his show and kinda pull little things that he does with the crowd and, like, that interaction, um, was r I think, really important for me just to, like, better myself for my stage presence and being around people and that was really cool just to get the chance to like be around them for a month and just to like learn from him and we had some good chats and just little things that were really really important for me to learn from him and then I got home and then went to Nashville and then came back and then went back out on the road with High Valley, and that was also, again, huge for me because those are, like, 3 great people to look up to, like Andrew, Jade, and Brad from High Valley, and those guys, like, I feel like those were the 3 best tours for me to kinda start and, like, really learn the ropes of that and getting the chance to again be around Brad like we've written a few times when I've been in Nashville and building that relationship with him and again meeting the band and like getting to
yeah,
know the little things that go into it and go into touring and if I ever get the chance to go out on a headline tour like knowing the ins and outs a little bit has been really important for me and it was just a lot of fun, and obviously getting to play shows, get in front of people that I've never been in
Yeah.
front of, and like that, just those experiences have been something that have definitely checked some boxes off my bucket list, and it's been kind of insane, an insane start to the year as well.
Well, that is so cool. Yeah, those opportunities, as you said, to make the friendships and also to learn from them, watching them on stage and picking up on how they do certain things, as you said, interacting with the crowd. And you can learn so much from these artists. And I'm thinking that as it always works in the music business, one day, not too far from now, you will be someone that younger artists are looking up to, and they'll be asking you for advice and they'll be learning from you.
Yeah, it's been nice to, like, think about that, like, it still kinda feels a little weird too
Sure.
because, I am 19, but there's, a lot of people that, have been, like, chatting with me, and, like, I've got a few really good friends who have been asking questions, and I'm like, "I don't really know anything," but I can try and give you the best advice that someone else has given me, and, it's like, obviously, as the road goes on and as I, continue to build as an artist, like, I feel like that would be really cool to kinda be able to chat with people and do what people, like, did for me, and, like, have that, like, build those relationships and be somebody that will always pick up their phone or text and send advice because, that's kinda what's helped me, that's what's gotten me this far, and it's not like you can get so far with, like, talent and songwriting, but if you have people in your corner and if you have people around you that support you and are willing to help you out with, whatever you need, like, I feel like that's really important.
And it seems like something, I'm sure it happens in other genres, but the country music community seems to be especially helpful from one artist to another.
Yeah, it's really cool, like, it feels like one big family, and
Yeah.
it's like there's definitely the circle, like, it's a very, very small world, like, there's some connections that I've heard about, like, people knowing some people, like, from Parry Sound or, like, being around in the area or just even, like, little connections of, like, "Oh, I know this artist," and, whatever, like, it's it's a very small world, and
Yeah.
it's very easy to make connections and build relationships with people, which I've appreciated so much.
That's amazing. And I should highlight something you said earlier, which is that you're still 19 years old. You've done all this, you're not even out of your teens yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's again, another surreal thing, like, I never thought that it would be at this point, like, and obviously there's still so much to go, like,
Yeah.
I'm not even at the foot of the mountain yet,
No.
and it's been, like, it's been so fun and like a dream come true. Because when I was finishing up high school and stuff, like, I was playing little gigs and at bars and restaurants around Parry Sound, Muskoka, and all those different things, and then, um, I started working with management, like Loft Entertainment, and then signing my record deal with Partners record label, like, they have, um, they've worked really hard and, like, working with Ken artist agents as well, like, when everybody's working hard, that keeps you going, and I never thought, like, when I was in grade 12, I was gonna go to school for sports
Okay.
management at Brock,
Nice.
and then, the music stuff started to escalate, and I was like, "Okay, this is what I'm gonna do," I'm so glad that I took the chance and kinda took that leap to be in music and try and build a career and try and build something out of, a couple songs that I written in my bedroom.
Incredible. We should talk about Cavendish Beach Music Festival presented by Bell. That is coming up this summer. It runs July 9th to 11th, Atlantic Canada's largest multi-day outdoor music festival. Those dates, July 9th to 11th, Cavendish PEI. They've got Hardy as a headliner, Tucker Wetmore, Cody Johnson, and many more artists, American, Canadian, tons of them. But you're performing Friday, July 10th on the Colliding Tides kitchen stage. Congratulations, that's gonna be a big performance for you.
Yeah, thank you. I am very, very excited to play Cavendish, like, I've been out to New Brunswick, but I haven't been to, like, the other maritime provinces, so getting the chance to not only go out to PEI and just, like, see what it's all about, and I've
Yeah.
heard really, really good things about Cavendish and, like, that whole festival, uh, my guitar player was playing with another artist there last year and was like, "Sully, you need to go. You need to go to Cavendish because they're like it's like you would love it out there. You're it's like it seems like your people out there, very small town and it's just like the best festival. And I'm really excited like just to get the chance to be a part of it. And there's a lot of different um artists that I'm excited to see.
Right.
And then just obviously being on that lineup and like being alongside all those other artists is really like I'm just so excited.
That is so incredible. Tickets at cavendishbeachmusic.com, weekend passes, etcetera. That's coming up July 9th to 11th, Cavendish Beach Music Festival, presented by Bell in that Cavendish PEI. Uh, are there dream partners, dream duet partners for you, Sully, male or female? Who would you be excited about putting out a record with?
That's a great question. There's so many. There are so many like in Canada and in the US and just like I think male would be that's tough because there are so many artists that I've looked up to and be
Yeah,
really cool to release a song. But I think like my biggest influence and like the person that I've looked up to ever since I started writing songs and I've listened to him forever would be Riley Green. I think having a song or getting to work with him and write with him and all that stuff would be really, really cool,
yeah.
to just, like, again, learn from him. He's been an artist who's been around for a while and, like,
Mhm.
again, an artist that I've looked up to big time, but also, I think Ella Langley would be really, really cool to have,
Yeah,
like, a duet with because she is killing it, and her songs, I was just listening to some of the new songs off her new record, and,
yeah.
and they are so good. So I think those 2 would be, like, the ones that I would love to do a duet with or write with or whatever.
I love it. Great choices. Choosing Texas, of course, is her big single right now. Loving
Yeah.
Life Again, I think, is her next single. Uh,
That's, like, my favorite song right now.
yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah. Two great choices. Now, as far as songwriting, so you're a teenager in Parry Sound starting to write your own songs. Uh, I know as an artist, you just start writing, but what made you a better writer? What did you learn about writing as you started to get further into it?
Yeah, so that, I didn't really, know all the ins and outs of writing until I started writing with new people, started co-writing. I had started writing songs for a school project,
Okay.
and it was I was 14, and like anything, it's like riding a bike, you fall or it's not great the first time
Right.
or the first 100 times you write a song, and it's there's some songs that are sitting on my phone that are really, really bad, and I
Okay.
think that but I think that, the more that I've worked with other people and, have written with other people, that's really cool because you can pull different things that they do, um, in a writing room or writing session that
Yeah.
you can, take if you're writing with somebody, Owen, for example, is really good at putting words together, putting pieces together of a song to make it not only make sense, but just make it, flow really well,
Okay.
and he's also extremely talented writer, he's got a lot more skills, but that was one of the things that I pulled from him, and then the other writers, you just learn so much from everybody that you write with, and that's been a big piece for me, and, not just throwing words on a piece of paper, but also, taking a minute and thinking, "Is this the best line? Is this the best word possible?" And that's what I've really been able to focus on, so the more that I've written with other people has also helped, um, me when I'm doing, solo writes or writing
Yeah.
songs by myself is, fighting for that right word, that right line, what's gonna happen next kinda thing, and, that's been, again, a lot of fun. I haven't written a lot in 2026 just because I've been playing a bunch of shows, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's really hard to switch from show mode to writing mode and
Sure.
get your brain back into it, but when I am able to do that. Like, I had a couple songwrites yesterday and, being able to get back into it, it's when I first started writing songs, it wasn't my favorite thing to do. All I wanted to do was play shows and
Right.
be in front of people. But, you realize that you need good songs. You need songs that are gonna, um, get people excited and, songs that are gonna get people to sing along to, and, it's important to have those really good songs to be able to play and show people, what you've got coming up next and what's already released and that kind of thing. So I've really enjoyed the process of like starting with nothing and either wrestling the song to the ground. Sometimes it's 7 hours, sometimes
Right.
it's 2 days, other times it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's really um it's such an interesting process that I've, started to really enjoy of just like being able to sit down and write with people and, obviously, like, a lot of it is well, all of it is life experiences. I want people to kinda understand how I grew up, and that was the same like, that was the whole thing, like, that whole project of "Somewhere in a Small Town," like, those are all songs that come from a personal place and, what it's like growing up in Parry Sound and those little things of, like, what what makes an artist them, like, what makes me me, and that
Yeah. Yeah.
was like, those songs were, I feel like, really showed that and showcased that in the first EP, and I feel like that was really important for people to kinda get to know me a little bit better, and then we've got some great songs coming out, next. The "Put It On Me" obviously is the
Yeah.
next single to radio, and that song's been I've been sitting on that song since April of 2025, so it's almost been a year, so I'm glad that we were able to release it in February, and just to, like, have people be able to hear that song, like, we played it live all summer, and, for it to finally be out and people to be excited about it, like, I remember we played multiple shows, and some people would come back and come watch us play again, and they would be singing the words to unreleased songs like "Put It On Me," and they're like,
Right.
"When's that song coming out?" So, for that song to be out, and then we've got some more songs coming. I think there's one coming in April and then, later on, I think, in June, and then we've got another one coming at the end of the year. So it's been really exciting just to, like, be able to build excitement around these songs, and, yeah, I'm just really happy that, those just from starting writing songs at 14 to
Yeah.
5 years later, you have people excited about those songs that aren't out yet is a lot of fun and just like it's again so surreal.
Oh, yeah. It's a great five-year plan, at 14 and
Yes.
now at
Yeah.
19, couldn't have planned it better, but you put in the work and obviously got the talent, and but yeah, it's so incredible for all of us to see, in this community, Sully, and across Canada, of course, and Parry Sound especially,
Yeah.
how far you've come. So many great things happened last year and are happening this year. What are you looking forward to this year as far as, something maybe, on your goal list, something you want to accomplish this year in your music career, if you've thought about that so far?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I feel like last year was definitely like a bucket list, like goal year, like getting to play different festivals and playing in like one of the bucket list things for me was to play the Key to Ballo, which I got to do with James Barker Band last year, and then Boots and Hearts was absolutely unreal. Like, it's an hour away from Parry Sound, but it's one of those festivals that I went to, like, 3 years before and, like, was kinda just wanted to go to see, like, the artists, and when I was like, "Man, I can't wait to be on the other side of that microphone." So then getting a chance to play Boots and Hearts, and then the next weekend playing Lasso in Montreal, like, 2 huge festivals in
Yeah.
Canada, and then, um also, like, just, like, being able to play in front of people was, like, huge for me, but then this year, a bucket list venue for me was the Stocking Center in Parry Sound, and I got to play that with High Valley as well, which was unreal, and I think just the more festivals that I get to play, the more places I get to see is, like, a goal for me, and getting to, like, go out to PEI for
Mhm.
Cavendish Beach Festival, and then, just a few other, you know festivals and stuff that are outside of Ontario, of places that I've never really been to. Like, I think that's the most exciting thing for me of getting to see other parts of Canada that I've never been to. So I think that's just the excitement that's building inside of me, and getting the chance to do that.
That is amazing, Sully. Well, I've enjoyed having this conversation with you and touching on some great moments so far in your career over the last couple of years. The new single, Put It On Me, is going to radio. More singles on the way this year, as you mentioned. Cavendish Beach. I'm sure some nominations at the CMAOs, which we'll find out soon, but you're already uh, pretty much in the running. So,
Yeah.
congrats on all the success, Sully. It was great, at the writers' rounds just a short couple of years ago, having you out and then watching this journey just take off.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave. It's been great chatting with you.
My pleasure. Once again, I've been chatting with Sully Burrows. I'm Dave Woods, and we'll see you next time.
Free audio post production by alphonic.com.